Welcome to the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, Monday Night Mayhem.
Monday Night Mayhem.
We are franchise-less tonight. So it's just me, Chemical Julian, along with Sunday Center, Dr. Drew himself, and Josh James.
Dr. Drew, that's new.
Dr. Drew.
Big Money Drew, because he's a big money Drew.
Fuck the actual Dr. Drew. I'll be a better Dr. Drew than him.
Fuck that guy. You're no Dr. Oz, but you can be a Dr. Drew.
Oh, thank God.
Do you ever eat crudité?
Crudité. Like crudité.
If you don't eat crudité, then you're not a Dr. Oz guy.
Thank God, because I don't even know what the fuck that is.
I mean, normal people call it a veggie tray, but crudité.
It's a crudité. Everybody watch Raw tonight?
No.
Nope.
Not all of it.
I did. I watched Raw tonight.
You poor guy. We're sorry.
Hey, that's our tagline. We watch Raw, so you don't have to.
I was reading all the messages that I was getting.
We watch Raw, so you don't have to.
It was like water torture.
I think it actually said Julian watches Raw, so that we don't.
Who earns? There's
who earns.
Who earns?
Oh, there is another thing.
Okay, so let's talk about this because Ultimate Hater brings up a good point.
I'm going to
TMZ for detailing how Bray died. That was a very traumatic moment for his wife. Why put that information out? I agree.
That's disgusting, and this is why last week, when Sean Ross Sapp tweeted that he had gotten permission from the family to put out what the real issue was, finally, after all those months, I tweeted that I respect the hell out of that specific type of reporting because that's how it should always be. Right. It shouldn't be this gotcha journalism. It shouldn't be this everyone get the story so that it can get the clicks first. It should just be simple, honest reporting.
I agree.
Not this TMZ bullshit.
Unfortunately, we live in a clickbait society, and everybody wants sensationalism, and they want the other story. I for this whole weekend, I just avoided all of that kind of news.
Right.
I just didn't want to read it. I didn't want to see it. It was. I was telling Sinner before the show started. I don't want another 10-bill salute for the year. I don't need another one. And even if there's older guys who are quote unquote, at the end of their life, or it's these younger guys who are like, what the fuck? I just don't need any more of it.
Yeah, I think
way too much.
The one positive thing to come out of TMZ reporting what they did, because in every situation you got to try to find the bright side of things. And the one thing positive I could take out of them reporting that it's a very good PSA for if you have heart issues and are given a defibrillator, please use it.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. I mean, we don't know what could have happened if he would have had the defibrillator on at that time. Maybe it would have. We don't know. But fuck, man, if you get a defibrillator from the doctors, fucking wear it, man, because you just never know.
I will also say now I'm not well versed in the medical field. If you need to wear a defibrillator,
why are you Dr. Drew if you're not in the medical field? You're a doctor of ergonomics.
I'm actually Dr. Phil in real life, but
Dr. Phil, he grew hair.
Well, it had to come from somewhere.
And a personality.
If you need to wear a defibrillator, I can't pronounce it. You know what I'm saying?
But you're from New Jersey.
How fucking dare you say that?
New York, wherever the fuck you're from.
That's slander.
Goddamn Yankee.
That's not the point. The point is that if you're wearing one of those, or if you need to wear it, can you be cleared to wrestle soon?
No.
No, absolutely
No.
No.
Because I was wondering because my curiosity got the better of me, and I didn't want to click on that article, but unfortunately, I just couldn't help myself. Human, sorry.
Right.
Thanks a lot, asshole, for putting it in there.
You're welcome.
The reports were that he was going to be back soon, like as soon as September. So, like, if you're wearing a defibrillator,
I don't think those reports are accurate. Because here's
Correct.
the thing. I mean, according to the medical report or whatever TMZ got their hands on, he had lower valve damage to his heart. Or whatever it was. I don't think he was ever going to wrestle again, honestly. I think there may have been hopes from him that he would wrestle again, but I don't think there was ever a chance with that. Let me see here. Okay, so he had developed a weak lower part of his heart from COVID. So I don't think he ever was going to wrestle again.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way. After the one thing to WWE's credit, when somebody's out of medical and they come back in to get, quote unquote, get cleared to wrestle again, they go through pretty extensive testing. Just because of how strenuous the job is, they don't want anyone just dropping dead in the middle of the ring.
Right.
And if you were having, and I mean, shit, I really do believe that after Eddie's death and after finding out what the cause of his death was with the enlarged heart, they were like, okay, this is one more thing to add to the list to be testing for. And so that list of tests or evaluations have gotten longer and longer. And that's why Keith Lee was out for so long. And people are like, oh, WWE's got Keith Lee on the shelf and they're not using him. Bro, he couldn't. His doctor was like, the most exercise that you should be doing is walking around the block.
Right.
And it was COVID related. So they're going to test the hell out of people. And you know what? Number one, because they should. But number two, whenever a wrestler dies, if they were in WWE for 5 minutes, the news always says, former WWE wrestler, blah, blah, blah.
Even when Brody died, it was former WWE wrestler. It wasn't current AEW star. Like, it was like that on the wrestling news sites, AEW star Brody Lee. But like on the mainstream media news, it was former WWE superstar Brody Lee passed away.
Correct.
And that's just how it is. And it's with the Bray returning thing, wrestlers are very stubborn.
Oh, yeah.
We always, no matter what the injury, no matter what the diagnosis, we always think, oh, we're about ready to get back in the ring. Look, when I had a blood transfusion and I was wrestling the next weekend, when I definitely shouldn't have been. I mean, it's, that's just a wrestling thing. And, most companies don't have that in place like WWE does, where, hey, you got to pass all these medicals to get in the ring. Most indie shows going to book you if you're fucking have an IV still stuck to your arm. So it sucks. But yeah, I don't think Bray would ever been able to return to the ring. I mean, fuck, Ric Flair just wrestled with the pacemaker, last year. So that's the whole thing of wrestlers will fucking go in the ring even if there's a good chance they die in there. And I think that's what kind of Bray's thing was because that he's preparing for a comeback came from his interview with Sean Ross Sapp, right? Did he do an interview with them? Oh, I thought he did an interview with them. And that's where the information
I think it was
from.
just that Sean was hearing from his camp that he was getting ready to come back into the ring.
Right. Yeah, and that's always going to be a wrestler's. I mean, fuck, Terry's talking about coming back to the ring to the fucking probably the day before Terry died. He was talking about coming back to the ring. I mean, that's just a
How many times
wrestler's
did he
thing.
retire? 9 times?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Terry's been retired since the 90s.
You know what? He retired 99 times and was just shy of 100.
But the thing is, no one was going to argue with Terry Funk. The guy was fearless. That's the one.
Yeah, if Terry called you, was like, "Hey, book me on your show, asshole," I'd be like,
Hey,
"Yes,
yes, sir.
Mr. Funk, sir."
Dude,
Is Dennis Stamp coming with you?
So I don't know if you guys saw, but about 10 minutes before we went live, Sean tweeted out that there may be some absences on AEW Dynamite either this week or next week, whenever they are. Tony Khan offered the show off to anyone who wanted to attend Bray Wyatt's services.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Oh,
I thought you were trying to say the Jungle Boy and CM Punk.
Right.
I thought it had to do with that too, but that's.
I did too.
I
But
like
that's
that.
pretty. That's really cool, then. That's really
even
cool.
better. I like that one better.
I wish I could make it out to Terry's fucking thing in Texas, but
It's gonna be at the ranch.
near the ranch. Well, he sold the Double Cross Ranch years ago.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah, he sold that
Oh,
before
man.
his wife passed away. He sold it.
Hmm.
Oh,
So, yeah, so, I mean, you know, once you get to a certain age, you can't take care of a ranch.
Well, yeah. A ranch is like way too much business. I mean, way too much
Oh
work
yeah,
for one guy or two guys to be doing.
right. But that's cool. That's cool that, you know, because there's a lot of guys in AEW that were close to Bray.
Yeah.
Just like it was with Brody. So I mean,
Yep.
it'll be. You know,
Let's not talk about negative and unfortunately sad things anymore. And let's talk about what the roundtable topic is today.
Hey, the topic today is Monday Night Raw.
okay.
In hell.
Okay, so we're gonna do just a quick rundown here. So the feud between the tag team champions Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and the Judgment Day continues, but thankfully it's supposed to come to an end this weekend at Payback.
We'll see.
Live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we're gonna have a Steel City street fight.
because you know Pittsburgh's called the Steel City. I don't know if you know that.
I thought it was called the city. Oh, that's Pittsburgh. That's Philadelphia.
That's Philadelphia. City of Brotherly Love. That's
Yeah.
Kentucky.
They have a brotherly love death match. Yeah. So anyway, we had Sami
Yeah, with
Zayn.
Bruce Pritchard as a referee.
I was going to say that.
The brother. Wow, that'd be great. Brothers, you can't have a brotherly love match without me.
Brother love.
Why does Brother Love sound like Paul Bearer all of a sudden?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
So tonight we have Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest. J.D. McDonough interfered in this match on
Big head
Damian
again.
Priest's behalf, and Damian Priest wasn't having it, man. I mean, he won the match, but he was mad about it, and he shoved down J.D. McDonough, and then J.D. McDonough, in a fit of anger,
Should have
took out
headbutted
his hair
him.
tie and let his hair down.
He should have headbutted him. That'd end Damian's career if he headbutted him.
And then he got jumped by KO and Sammy, and Damian Priest just watched from the aisleways, got his ass beat.
And then they told all the kids they must leave the arena because Jerry Lawler is coming out for a special appearance.
And he has a beard.
And he's legally not allowed within 100 feet of children.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. So let me see what's next. Oh my gosh. The Miz comes to the ring dressed as LA Knight. And he's like doing LA Knight half Stone Cold, and anybody could have a catchphrase, and anybody can be over with the crowd with a couple of catchphrases, this and this. So you know they're pushing that feud. So LA Knight and the Miz got a match coming up at Payback.
I love this segment.
Jesus
I really
Christ.
did like that segment because it reminded me when Miz dressed up as The Rock one time. So I really did enjoy this one.
I fucking hate the Miz, so nothing he does at this point gets me excited. Sorry.
So,
I
dude,
was
so
hoping,
again,
I was actually hoping that LA Knight was going to come out to the Miz's music and dress up as Miz because he did a hilarious Miz voice on Friday. I thought that was really funny.
We'll get that on Friday.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
I hope we do.
For the 1,000th time, or well, it seems like the 1,000th time, we have the New Day versus the Viking Raiders.
I was watching the Finger Poke of Doom.
Please,
I feel
please
like
give me Sheamus versus Orton 5,000 again.
No, John
I'll
Cena
watch that over
versus-
this.
Or
I would
versus
watch
Cena
Demolition versus the Hart Foundation again and again and again before this. And the thing is, it's not even because of the New Day. I think this is just nobody's winning here, much like the match we'll get to in our main event
I'm gonna say
with Becky Lynch and
I know-
Trish Stratus. No one's winning in that feud either.
I'm gonna say this, and I know it's probably a lot of people are gonna not like it. The New Day's gone stale.
Oh, you know why? Because pretty much everyone knows that Big E's not coming back.
And that's one thing that I like. I was always a Big E guy. I like
Yeah.
Big E.
And so having the third person was always kind of their shtick because they really all three of them played off each other really well, and they were wrestling Freebird rules, etc., and he brought something to the group that just Kofi and just Xavier don't have by themselves, and so now with him just being out and like not even being on TV, just like gone.
Yeah.
It kind of takes away, plus King Xavier. They don't even mention him being King of the Ring anymore.
I completely forgot he won King of the Ring.
Yeah, Kofi is like former WWE champion, and you kind of look at him and you're like, well, how'd that happen? And
Or it's
so
like one of those things like, wait, he was WWE champion? Since when?
yeah,
Well,
and so-
Racist Brock had to come in. And,
Yeah, maybe Brock like ran into him backstage, like, "Give me your crown, boy."
give me a crown.
Probably. We probably didn't see it.
Kofi was like, "Here comes Brock. Take your crown off." He's like, "I'll just tuck it in."
It's Debo.
Hey, highlight of the week, we had Ludwig Kaiser with Imperium versus Chad Gable.
oh, I've got such a crush on him. Jesus Christ. Crazy.
Oh, the
So
Nazi.
Chad
On
Gable,
stop calling him a Nazi.
Chad Gable is making his way back to the Intercontinental Championship challenger arena.
Wait,
if you will.
Wait. If Ludwig Kaiser gives someone a facial, does he think you think he does the Hitler mustache with it?
Oh God.
That's gross.
No. That's
These opinions do not reflect the roundtable only of Sunday Sinner, okay?
Says the guy with
Jesus.
Hitler cat.
Yeah,
Hey, so when does Gunther break the record, Honky Tonk Man's record? When is that?
I think it's right after Payback if he
Okay.
beats it. Honky's
So the-
record will live forever.
Maybe they'll have
In your
Honky
mind.
come out and interfere.
Honky, they can't afford Honky.
No, I see it like
You can get Honky on Cameo for $200, $250.
Gunter was like, "I'd beat you
Oh,
up."
please don't tell me
Honky."
that's the gift. Don't tell me
No,
Honky's the
no, it
gift.
ain't. You
Okay.
think I'm gonna spend $200 on you? You got a Virgil video coming now. $20.
No, that'd be
That
$2,000.
$25 comes with a pack of meat sauce.
Right. A great Kali video with no fucking subtitles.
So so it's a Steel City street fight this Saturday when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defend their undisputed tag titles against at Finn Balor and at Archer of Infamy. I was like, did you not change your name yet? Like to I guess maybe
He can't. He'll lose his check mark.
at what was it? At Punishment Martinez is taken.
Right.
so really?
Chad
So,
Gable beat Ludwig by DQ. So he's basically running through Imperium
To get the Intercontinental Champion.
but he's not winning any of the matches by pinfall.
Not
What a
well,
babyface thing to do.
Right.
He beat Gunther by countout.
And then Ludwig
he
by
beat-
DQ.
He beat
And the next one's gonna be a pinfall.
yeah.
Or
I don't see that. I'd love them to put the title on Chad, but I don't see it happening.
I would love to
It's
see
not
it,
happening.
but I don't think it will happen.
It can't happen until after the whole Honky Tonk thing.
Yeah. Because they just want to disrespect Honky.
Yeah.
And Gunther's like, he don't have blonde hair, blue eyes. I'd beat his reign.
So now we're back to Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura, and They showed Shinsuke doing his interview in, I almost said Spanish, in Japanese, and it had subtitles. And he's like,
This is
"Oh,
the
you got
content of our
broken,
quizzes, by the way.
he's like, oh, you got broken bones
Yeah.
in your back." Hey, the
John,
guy's
What
multilingual,
language
man.
was
You must be
Shinsuke
understanding.
Nakamura
Come on.
speaking on Monday Night Raw?
Right.
Spanish.
Hey, you never know, man. He probably speaks like 5 languages. Could be
When
Turkish.
he was kind of promo on Reven, what language was he using?
That's right. It was probably
The
an Italian.
Johnson brothers.
He was an Italian. Hey, speaking of which, there's a India show coming up,
Yes.
Here
and
comes Jinder Mahal once
And the
again.
great Khali.
and that's right. And so our
Oh, it's time
undisputed
for you
tag team
to
champions
shine.
are going to face off against Indashir.
Time for them to win the tag team titles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Jesus.
Maybe if they had a version called the India International Tag Team Title, they might win that one.
They may create one just for the pay-per-view.
Well, you know, Will Ospreay did change the New Japan American title to the New Japan British title, so
That'd
be
be-
possible.
I love the UK title in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the United States Championship belt, but I love the
you don't have to prove that you're a patriot. It's okay.
No. I
Patriot.
actually really do like it looks more natural with the belt, with the UK flag and all.
Well, now I'm just gonna call you a racist.
Hey, speaking of that, Tommaso Ciampa came out
Speaking of
with,
racist,
with Taz's theme.
Oh, well, that's questionable. Actually, seen some of his pictures.
And what's his name? Bronson Reed just ran up behind him. Bronson Reed snuck up on him from behind and attacked him. Like, I can't see how Bronson Reed can sneak up on anybody, but he somehow
That's
managed to
what
sneak up on
Tommaso
Tommaso
Ciampa would
Ciampa.
do.
he found a way.
Tommaso Ciampa.
So wait, Bronson Reed's randomly feuding with fucking Ciampa now?
Yes.
Who was he feuding with before?
Whoever,
Everyone.
Everybody.
He just
So
jumps
why
into
are you
feuds.
surprised then?
He would just come out and attack people. Just-
Right. He just
Gargano,
randomly
Miz,
jumps into feuds out of nowhere.
Austin Theory, Damian
That would
Priest.
be the Triple H. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so I'm just putting you with this person
Hey.
this week.
Bronson Reed's like that feud looks mighty good. Would be sad if someone came and got involved in it.
Oh my god, that used to be Kane's thing back in the day.
That's right.
Correct. Yeah. So,
So
I mean,
Ultimate Hater's comment that you put up just now.
Yep.
That's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah. So either they sold out or they're like, oh, we're not selling no jagged shit.
well, maybe AEW bought them all, and they're just gonna like re-leather them and put them up on their website.
You know what the crazy thing is? So, you know, each team gets a cut out of all merchandise sold. So that means that WWE had to cut a check to the Khan family for every Jacksonville Jaguar. So WWE is funding AEW much like they did ECW back in the day.
Correct.
Vince is such a nice guy. He's a stand-up
He's a
guy.
great guy, isn't he?
He's a scholar and a gentleman.
Wonderful man.
So your favorite, Rhea Ripley and Dominic, had an in-ring segment, and out comes who? Raquel Rodriguez.
Mrs. Back.
Mrs.
Mrs. Back.
I want my money back if I
Mrs.
buy
I
a
like to flex
ticket
my backy
and
backy.
she's on the damn show.
All right, so last match of the night, and I'm going to rant about this
You know what?
just a little bit.
Well, 1 second. While we're talking about Raquel
Go ahead.
Rodriguez,
You go ahead and rant about Raquel Rodriguez.
We
No,
don't have
my-
to.
knowing my fucking luck, when I go to Collision next week, she'll be signed by AEW somehow and show up. That's my fucking
No,
luck.
she'll be in the audience with the camera pans over, and she'll be right behind you.
And she'll be right in front of me,
She'll be like,
standing up.
"You fucking hate me, huh?"
She'll be in front of me,
She'll-
standing up, blocking the view the entire
No,
night.
holding a
Like-
sign.
Right. Like, oh, you even
Look
fucking ruined AEW for me.
Hey,
You
lady,
can't just
move your
stop and
sign. I
ruin
can't see the
WWE for
match.
me. You got to fucking ruin AEW. I'm on the floor, too. Fuck. I hate being on the floor.
You like nosebleed seats?
No, well, on the floor, if you're not in front row on the floor,
Oh yeah,
you're going to have people fucking in your way.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
never mind.
I've experienced that multiple times.
They were free tickets, so like I couldn't fucking be like, no, give me fucking bleacher tickets.
I was at a WWE event at front row one time. I took my ex-girlfriend with me to go see it, and we were behind Taz and Michael Cole the whole entire show.
Nice.
Don't
Oh.
lie. You're there every week. We see you in the green shirt.
Oh, that's not me.
Knew it.
He's like, green doesn't look good on me.
He has got the same thing as that guy.
Right.
That's funny.
He
That's
just
funny.
that's a wig he's wearing right now. He's really bald. We see you every week
I
on
swear
TV.
It's not a wig. I swear it's not a wig.
It's a merkin.
That's just a green screen of his bedroom he uses to throw us off.
Yeah, I swear it's not me.
So in the main event, we had Becky Lynch and Zoe Starks with Trish Stratus in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Look, I just got bored listening about it.
This angle has sucked so bad.
I love
Like,
Becky, but I hate
I
this.
never thought people could care less week by week, but every week people care less.
Oh,
and
man. Look,
and it's
Because no one cares about
it's
Trish
go
and
away heat.
anybody else.
Like,
this angle's
not-
lasted longer than the Percocet addiction angle.
This was supposed to be like a vehicle to get Zoe Stark over, like for her to get the rub from Trish and from Becky. And every week when Becky walks out, she looks like, why the fuck am I here? I don't
Right.
want to be here. Trish looks like excited because, hey guys, I'm getting a paycheck. Look at
Right.
me. And Zoe Stark is like, I'm waiting for the rub. The rub's coming.
I'm
Where's the
waiting for
rub?
Trish has been back since what? Before WrestleMania?
She's been back since March, I believe.
This is
Dude,
like the
I don't know
longest
why
run
her-
she's had since she retired.
This is a long gig. Cena's like, I'm coming back for 7 weeks. That's it.
That's
She's
all
like,
you're
no, I'm
getting.
coming to hang out.
Well, it's
Right.
because Cena could sell tickets, not Trish.
No, and that's it. Like this feud has done nothing for
No.
anybody involved.
I think it's hurt Trish's legacy more than
It's-
anything.
It's hurt Trish's legacy. It's at best, it's left Zoe Stark where she was when she came in.
Right. And Becky Lynch has been stagnant since it started.
And Becky Lynch is just like, I'm just here taking tickets at the front gate.
Right.
That's it.
Sign my paycheck.
My
To be honest,
husband's
it's like
my husband's getting the big dollars.
to be honest, for me, is like I liked Trish back then, but I always thought of her as an overrated women's wrestler.
Oh, yeah, she was never a great wrestler. I
But-
think people looked at her run through rose-colored glasses because at the time she was one of the better ones, but she wasn't good by any. But that was the era of models wrestling.
Correct.
Like, here's the thing: I only remember her for her relationship with Vince and her barking like a dog. That's the only thing I remember about Trish.
You
I only remember her from
disgusting
one
pervert.
match. I just remember her from one good match that she had with Lita, and that was the main event that they had.
Oh yeah, and there was Lita had a good match. Trish
And-
just happened to be there.
And Mickey James, I love Mickey, but Trish, this run, like, I was happy to see her come back. I was happy. I was like, all right, cool, she's coming back and all that. But next
Yeah,
thing
but
you
we
know-
all thought she was going to be back for a week, maybe two.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
here's the thing. Trish only had good matches when she was in there with good workers.
Yeah,
Correct.
Trish was not a good worker. Trish looked good in proximity to the Victorias, the Jazz.
Trish had the Matrix move and the chick kick, which is the
Right.
worst name for
I mean, because remember that debacle? I mean, she was involved in the worst match in Raw history
with Miss Jackie and
with Jackie Gata and JBL and Chris Nowinski.
Yeah, I remember that match.
And it wasn't Chris Nowinski and JBL that made the match bad.
no, it wasn't even their fault.
It was because Trish and Jackie, because Jackie couldn't carry Trish because Jackie didn't know what the hell she was doing.
And that was her first match, and she wasn't even ready.
If you would have put Jackie in there with fucking Jacqueline or Jazz or Victoria, it would have looked okay.
different story.
Right.
Yeah.
But, Trish was only good when she had someone in the ring carrying her.
They should have put in Nydia. Come on, Nydia, get him, Nydia, get him.
Hello, Chris Parrish.
Hello, Chris Parrish. I know that
What
guy.
up,
Hello,
Chris?
Chris
See,
Parrish.
He's wearing a Punisher shirt, so let me get him
I
off
love
the
the Punisher.
screen. Yeah, I hate fucking wrestlers who wear Punisher shirts. This
So
isn't
this-
1997. Sorry.
So this was a Falls Count Anywhere match, not Balls Count Anywhere match.
That balls count anywhere match.
and Zoe Stark got pinned after Becky gave her the manhandle slam off the top of a insert equipment box here.
Do you know what's crazy?
I feel bad for
That this
Just-
angle was that this angle is still going on today.
Well, besides that, just a few years ago, Becky was the biggest star in wrestling.
Exactly.
Right after Nia Jax busted her nose.
Right. And they rode that momentum fucking great. And then they just forgot about her. Hey, I mean, I hate to say it, and this is going to be a topic on a future Roundtable episode. Stay tuned. But if Becky was a man, not the man, but a man,
she'd be buried.
She'd be in a lot better position right now.
She'd be working
she'd be
matches
on
with
main
Jinder
event.
Mahal.
She'd be on dark matches.
Yeah, she'd be in main event.
She'd be on what's the show? Live Wire.
Live Wire. Sunday Night Heat.
What are they doing now?
They don't even have a weekend show anymore.
What about Estrellas? Is that still on?
But stay tuned for a
Yeah,
future women's wrestling roundtable.
Yes, eventually in 2025, that'll be coming your way.
Trust me, there's plenty of material to wait.
Oh my god!
Well, this whole feud, I felt bad for Zoe more than I had. Like again, Becky, great wrestler, and but it's just I see that they're trying to give her this push, but it hasn't really done anything for her. It just
this NXT level up. That's what.
So from Becky's perspective,
yeah,
it didn't do her any favors, but it didn't bring her down.
It made her stagnant.
It didn't lift her up at all.
Right.
No. And in fact, it made people just like not care about her because a lot of people didn't know she wasn't the get-go. Right. And then from Trisha's perspective, it's like, why the fuck are you still here?
Right. Like, well, with Becky,
it's like you go to your mom, you're like, when's Auntie leaving? I thought she was only staying here for 2 days.
Right.
It's been like fucking 2 weeks.
Well, like I said, it made Becky stagnant.
Her entire WrestleMania to post SummerSlam now has been Trish Stratus.
Oh my
That's
god!
it.
Wait.
And Zoe, but Trish. What the hell?
Oh, it's a cat.
Hitler cat. Hitler cat's just laying behind the TV staring at me.
Oh, you have Ludwig Kaiser in your apartment?
I do. the feline version. Don't hide now. You're on live. You're in front of about 3 people.
It's Mittens.
In front of the millions.
And millions of people that will find this podcast in
2075
and be like, what the fuck were they on back then?
It's me, Austin. It was me all along.
They'll find it in 2075 and be like, hey, Trish is still wrestling that feud with Becky.
Future people, I just want you to know, CM Punk is going to be what we talk about on this show.
You know what's crazy? You know what is great? Like
what's crazy is we've been talking about this fucking show for 30 minutes almost.
No, you know what's crazy? What's really crazy is that anybody with half a brain cell just does not totally believe that Jack Perry's at fault. It's his fault.
It is his fault.
It's his fault for showing up.
Yeah.
For just being there. For signing the contract. It's his fault.
There's a 100% legitimate reason why he was put with that wily veteran Christian and that veteran Luchasaurus. They were there to keep him in check at all times.
Has been around for 400
and now
years.
that they send Jack Perry off by himself,
I believe it's 65 million.
Causing problems, man. Just causing problems.
465 million. It's all the same.
I mean, that's why Christian's still with Luchasaurus. I mean, that's why. Like Luchasaurus is doing a lot better than Jack Perry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Luchasaurus has a real title, and he hasn't been choked out by CM Punk.
I mean, look at Brian Pillman Jr.
Respects everybody.
Right.
Let's hit the commercial break. Let's come back, reassess ourselves, compose, and get into episode 1 of the Roundtable. Should CM Punk leave AEW?
That's producer
Drew.
Answer is no. Yeah, maybe. Not maybe. I don't know.
Why? Oh, okay. I'll let me do this 1 minute and 20-second commercial thing right here. Hold on.
1 minute and 25.
Professional wrestling is one of the toughest sports going today. If you ever dreamed of being a professional wrestler, then former WWE superstar and World Tag Team Champion Sir Mo of the famed tag team Men on a Mission invites you, yes, you, to join his Bumps and Bruises Academy. Now in 2 locations in Carrollton, Texas and Sherwood, Arkansas. Allow Sir Mo and his head coach, Dante Smiley, and other coaches to get you on the road to an exciting and rewarding career. Classes forming now for your shot. Contact Sir Mo at 704-819-7312 or fill out an information questionnaire now. Don't wait, make your dreams come true today by joining the Bumps and Bruises Pro Wrestling Academy.
When you want to get your hair cut, you go get your hair cut right. You head down to Big D's Barbershop. Big D's Barbershop, Vancouver, Washington's best and brightest. 1019 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington, where you can go get your hair lined up, cuts, fades, shampoos, conditions, and all the great things that go with supporting a local barbershop in a local business area. You can also reach them online at www.bigdsbarbershop.com. Go get your hair cut right.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, it's Angelina Love, one half of The Beautiful People and one half of NWA's Psycho Love, and you are watching the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast.
And we're back.
Look, Drew's not even fucking on time for his own segment.
I'm here.
Damn it, Drew.
Fucking Drew.
My segment. This is everybody's segment.
So what are we talking about here, Drew?
So we came to a conclusion, considering all the shit going on lately. First roundtable topic should be, should CM Punk leave AEW? And
Could he?
should he?
Should he?
Now, here's my case for it. Although this is kind of starting to sound like wrestling, the wrestling court. But here's my case for it. Now, I have been saying since he returned, pretty much, and news. Don't put the court thing on. This isn't wrestling court.
That table's round enough.
It sounded like it. Okay, fine.
What I believe, honestly, is that there is one or more people within the AEW structure trying to get as many negative Punk stories out as possible, just so that Punk flips out and either rage quits or gets fired.
You know, me and Julian were talking before we went on the air. The people the elites always have an issue with are veterans.
Yeah.
The people that have drawn money and know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
And you know what? A lot of times, I feel like it's not Kenny Omega. I feel like it's the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega gets dragged into it.
Sure.
That's what it always seems like to me.
I don't disagree with that. It does feel well. I mean, could even with the with Brawl Out, Kenny really wasn't the one that was brawling with everybody. He just got bit by X Steel. Oh Lord, why is Puppet Blood out right now?
He's been nominated as president of the Roundtable.
See?
You know what? I wouldn't say no to that. I mean, he's better than the real Bad Blood. Am I right?
Oh, am I right? Yeah, am I right?
So the reason why I say that is because, like so much stuff has gone on, and Sinner, you were even saying this in the chat earlier. AEW just seems like a toxic environment for him.
Yeah.
And
I feel like AEW is a toxic environment for anyone that just doesn't bow down to the elite. And they have gotten this narrative out there that it's the other way around, that if you're not fucking, a subservient to CM Punk, he makes, the backstage miserable for you. But I really feel like it's the other way around. And someone made a comment about, they didn't have these issues in AEW before Punk came along. But you know what? Before Punk come along, they weren't drawing money because it was just the elite and all their friends every week on TV.
Well, you know what? I would really be interested to finally hear Cody's side of why he left.
I would too. I don't think Cody, I don't think is a type to ever.
And that's the thing. I don't think Cody ever would
No.
dish that kind of dirt or express that kind of opinion. And that's probably why he was not a good fit after a while, if you, or he wasn't good for that culture, if you will. But
Cody's not the politician that the Bucks and them are.
Well, the Bucks aren't really. I mean, is it politics? Yes, but are you just really trying to maintain control for your own personal interests? I mean, that's really more what it is. And so, and I really don't like to. I really don't like to put that narrative to it.
What the fuck?
You take his spot.
Oh, he took your spot.
Yeah, I heard you, Drew. I heard you, Drew.
Heard me what?
I heard you, Drew.
Heard me what? What is?
I'm president of the Roundtable.
That was Ultimate Hater. That wasn't me.
Fuck you, hater. No, I just kind of come in and say you guys are doing a good fucking job.
Obviously,
proud of you guys. You guys were all that and then some. Tall, dark, and handsome.
Tips.
Yeah, all that good shit.
I'm tall, dark, and handsome. Why? I've never been told that before.
Wow.
I'm only told that when I'm laying down.
That's what she said. Well,
are you joining us, or are you just here to say hi?
I'm actually here to say hello, and I don't understand why we can't connect it, but whatever. Yeah, sorry, I was trying the Roundtable YouTube channel, but apparently that's not gonna let me do it.
That is correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's live on my YouTube
and mine.
Weird. Anyway, good show, guys. I'm gonna go back to doing what I was doing, but
bang bang,
love your blood,
bang bang gang,
pew pew crew,
pew pew,
guns up.
So
Hater, you fucking piece of shit, getting me in trouble. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're locked in the closet now.
Hey, the Punk Blood was about to choke you out like you were Jack Perry.
Damn, I should have let him do it.
Hey, so Drew, do you think that the Bucks could be trying to make such a stressful work environment for Punk that he would either A, quit, or B, be fired by consensus? I mean, clearly that is the definition of creating a hostile work environment. And Tony Khan would get sued. AEW would be sued.
Right.
I think it, and I mean, speaking about Cody before, it does. I think we kind of obviously know why Cody left without him having to tell us. It was the Young Bucks. I'm pretty sure. Like, they obviously were just not getting along as EVPs together. And very quickly that disintegrated. So he was never on BTE again. He was never in the late segments again. And by that time, he just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going back to WWE. And
So
that's what he did.
WWE.
So with CM Punk, his appearances often increase the quarter hours, which we see that on the
another
strip.
cat.
Look at that cat booty.
Terrible. That was terrible.
We've seen that on the Roundtable when we do our collision watch alongs on Saturday. When Punk's match comes on, our fucking viewers triple every fucking Saturday. 5 pay-per-views he was on our AEW's 5 highest selling pay-per-views. He main evented 2 $1 million gates. The third one was drawn on him, but he wasn't on it due to injury, which was Forbidden Door.
Okay.
And there was the first United Center show as well.
Oh, yeah. 4 of the top 10 selling items for last year on Shop AEW and PWTs were his.
He draws money.
He's a fucking draw, and
So,
I don't get why.
Please don't ever reply to dumbass losers on the internet again that say that CM Punk is not a draw. Okay?
Some people don't know what draw means.
I think that's one of the reasons why that the Bucks don't like Punk is because he draws more viewers and more money.
He took the spotlight from them.
Yeah, and they don't like that.
AEW was supposed to be built around the elite. When CM Punk came in, that's all people were talking about and all people wanted to see. And we even talked about it with Collision, the first episode. Tickets for the other shows were fucking dead. Like tickets were not selling for Collision taping.
Correct.
Collision shows. The night CM Punk actually returned on Collision, tickets started selling for Collision.
Correct.
The man is a draw because people thought he wasn't really going to show up. Even when Tony Khan announced him, people were like, even when Tony Khan announced him, people were like, well, is he really going to be there?
Get out of here.
So when he actually showed up, tickets started selling.
That was the worst kept
again.
secret of all time.
Well, this is for Collision. I mean, yeah, he was advertised to be coming back, but you know how it is with the Punk and the AEW situation where people are like, is he really going to be back, though? Like, I'm going to be salty if I go next week and he's not there.
Which may very well be the case, unfortunately.
I will say one thing about AEW. They have never falsely... I mean, if you knew CM Punk was going to be there, you knew he was going to... They drop breadcrumbs and hints, and it's...
Right.
They're unintentionally good at... Or they're intentionally poor at keeping a secret.
Right.
You know?
Like WWE when they have a special surprise or a secret surprise.
Oh, yeah, they didn't even let us be surprised that John Cena was coming back.
Wrestling has moved away from the Any Given Sunday thing to, really, really telegraphing it and telling you what's going to happen because, they want the eyes. They don't want. They want the buys.
Well,
they don't
not only that,
they don't want the eyes.
It's not the 90s anymore to where everyone didn't have access to the internet. So people didn't know that, if the internet was around like it is now in the 90s, the Hall of Nash thing wouldn't have been a surprise. Alundra Blaze showing up on Nitro wouldn't have been a surprise. It's too many people with access and too many people that like to talk in the companies for anything.
Well,
to be a
you know
surprise.
what? So I will tell you this. The Alundra Blaze thing and the Hall of Nash thing could have been a surprise if they chose to keep it that way. Because you got to remember, when Edge came back at the Rumble, it was a surprise.
That is true.
Yeah.
When the Hardys came back at WrestleMania,
that was a surprise. And It was a surprise because we were like, oh my God, I can't really believe they showed up.
Right.
But they were in town and they had
a match the night before.
They had tag titles and they dropped them.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes,
they did a ladder match the night before with the Young
they
Bucks.
dropped the Ring of Honor. So it was like, oh my gosh, if they dropped the titles, maybe they're going. Yeah. So anyway, but there have been some pretty decently kept secrets.
Right. Shane McMahon coming back. That when Shane McMahon came back,
so cool.
Fucking
And
back in was that?
Squad.
No, but back in when he came.
I think it was 2016.
Yeah, when they were doing that Vince McMahon Appreciation Award or
Yeah,
whatever,
correct.
and Shane's music hit, no one was expecting that.
Correct. I mean, so you can keep secrets, but companies choose not to keep secrets. And so the whole CM Punk thing, when he made his first return after how many years, and I get it, the job of the announcer is to, oh my God, it's been 7 years and 5 days and 6 hours, and they're supposed to sell it. That's your job. I get that.
Right.
But come on, guys. Everybody knew this was going to happen, and they left enough breadcrumbs. And for example, if you're working at ProWrestlingTees.com, someone's like, hey, we need 10,000 CM Punks returning to Chicago t-shirts by next week. It's a given. Right. Hey, guys, we need these ice cream bars. It's a given. And so someone's going to whisper here and there. But if someone's coming back for the night and the Alundra Blaze thing, even with today's internet, so I mean,
well, yeah, because Eric Bischoff wasn't going to be like, hey, we need 1,000 Alundra Blaze shirts for Nitro on Monday.
And it's really funny though, because even in the case because of Alundra Blaze, so Brett's like, oh, I'm a good guy. I would have done the honors and I would have dropped the title before I left. And, I just didn't want to drop it to Sean. We could have figured something out. Vince is like, no, motherfucker. After what happened with the women's title, ain't nobody leaving here. Right. Post-contract with the belt on them. I don't care who you are. Fuck you and your word. You are not leaving here without a contract with one of our belts around your waist.
Or if you remember when Mike Awesome showed up in WCW, he was still ECW champion. And they were going to have him come out with the title, and Paul Heyman had to actually sue them in court to stop that from happening.
Yeah. And it's things like that where, so back during the Monday Night Wars, when everybody was being petty as fuck, like, there was the chance of that happening. I don't know so much that would happen today. Right. So like if
the only one
if Roman Reigns went to AEW tomorrow and just decided to break contract, I don't care how much money it costs me, I'm just going to show up at Dynamite. I don't think Tony Khan would let him show up on TV with the title.
No.
Or on TV, period. He'd be like, no. Keep your ass at home.
I don't need no contract tampering.
Yeah, right. I'm not getting sued. And so back to Punk. Can you make him breach contract? Can you force him to breach contract? I mean, maybe. I mean, you would think that for a vet who has done as much as he has in his career, that this guy would be able to shake shit off a little bit better. Like why he's now hold on.
King Petty. He is Petty.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The fact that he choked out Jack Perry, I've got nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. In fact,
well, now who did it better? Who did it better, Punk or Sunday Center?
In fact, I might have to send Punk like a box of donuts or whatever the fuck he likes. Those sausages,
muffins.
No muffins.
The muffins, yeah, the
muffins. The muffins from Mindy's Bakery.
Yeah. So, but how can your CM Punk? He's Jack Perry. Like, what could this guy say to you to piss you off to want to? I'd be like,
well, if the original reports are correct, obviously he took the shot in the match at Punk. Oh, that's real grass. Cry me or glass. Cry me a river. So yeah, he took that shot. And Punk's fragile.
Can somebody explain that to me? I didn't get the
so the original beef with Jungle Boy and CM Punk was Jungle Boy wanted to do a spot with real glass at Collision, and Punk told him, no, you can't do that. You're not going to use real glass. That's stupid.
I mean, it's smart.
That
Right.
is pretty
That's
stupid.
sound advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then-
apparently that upset Jack Perry.
But the other thing too, to add to that, was that there was the rumor that Punk was saying that, I don't remember, I can't quote it verbatim, but it was something to the effect of Punk thought that Jack wanted to use real glass so that he didn't have to work.
Yeah. So the rumor was that Punk accused that Jack Perry wanted to use real glass so he could get injured and not have to come to work.
Oh, okay. So
That's
logically
what.
speaking,
That's what
I can see who's
got
Darby
him.
Allin, but
Well, here's the thing, like, Tony Khan seems like such a laid-back boss that if Jack Perry was like, hey, I need some time off, he would have been like, okay.
But apparently, he already had planned time off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
So-
say this about Tony Khan.
say it.
Has he done good for AEW in the past? Yes, but right now, I think he's, in my opinion,
He's lost
not that good of
control.
a boss right now. He's not that good of a boss right now because he's too busy being everybody's friend.
Oh, I agree.
Being the boss.
No, Josh nailed it on the head. He's trying to be one of the boys,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
he's literally a tape trader with a shitload of money
Right.
who could afford to have his own promotion with
Yeah.
all his little action figures in it and do what he wants.
Here's the
And
thing. Tony
I
Khan.
don't think he's. We joke about the HR department in wrestling, but this guy needs his HR department
Right.
to take care of specific day-to-day activities that he is clearly not capable of dealing with.
He needs to hire people outside of wrestling to handle certain aspects of the company.
On one of my YouTube videos I did, when me and my buddy Mr. Bones, we were talking about the AEW video game, and we brought up Herb Abrams, and I said this: "Oh, you mean Tony Khan's dad?"
Yeah. I mean, Tony Khan's a little smarter than Herbie was.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
He's
just
a
one
little
of those
better at
things-
making money.
It's just the thing is, like, I always thought like Herb Abrams was kind of like trying to do the exact same thing, be one of the boys, like, but Tony Khan is a little bit smarter.
So the thing with Tony Khan is he grew up a wrestling fan.
yeah,
And now he's in a position where he gets to hang out with the wrestlers. And it's a detriment to the company. You know, Vince grew up around wrestling, around wrestlers.
Correct.
So when he got in power, he didn't feel the need to be buddy with these wrestlers because he grew up around them.
He clearly knew from his dad, like, where that line is. Like, where
Exactly.
there's, I'm the booker, I'm the owner, I'm the manager, versus you're the workers.
Right.
And as much as people want to shit on Vince for some of his decisions, like, he was very buck stops with me.
Mhm.
The buck stops here. And, despite being in court with a neck brace on, but that he was the boss. And
Hey,
as
that was a legit neck injury. The same doctor that diagnosed Bob Orton diagnosed Vince's neck. It was legit.
sure.
But here's the thing, like, and Eric Bischoff had the same problem in WCW, where he wanted to be buddy with Hulk Hogan and with Kevin with the cool guys. He wanted to be buddy with the cool guys.
Hey, if you listen to his podcast, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, well, if you listen to Eric's podcast, you're gonna fucking get gonorrhea in your ear.
here's the thing: like, even for me, like, I grew up liking Hulk Hogan in the past.
Now that
Nah,
explains a lot.
No.
So
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
So
Here's
did a
the
lot
thing.
of people.
No. Here's the thing. The thing is like now, like I can look back. It's like, oh yeah, this was dumb. What Hogan was doing, like using his trump card to say like, oh, that doesn't work for me, brother.
He used his trump card in that sex video when he used the N-word.
His
That's a real
indictment
Trump card. That's a real
His
Trump card.
insurrection card.
Hey, he insurrected Bubba's wife.
No, that was Chris Jericho's wife.
Well, no, she interrupted
She
the
did her
capital.
introduction jump cut.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, oh, sorry, Drew.
No, you finish. Go ahead.
Okay, it's just that like,
You're such a nice guy. He let you finish first. He let you finish first. What a great guy.
Almighty.
Don't try to ask me, because once I'm finished, I'm done.
He's gonna get the itis and go to sleep.
You're right, Senator. It's like Eric Bischoff was trying to be with buddies. He's trying to be like the cool guys, like Hogan. That's what Khan is doing with the Elite, especially with the Elite.
I think Tony Khan is torn because he wants to be buddy with the Elite, but he also wants to be buddy with CM Punk. The problem is the Elite will stroke Tony's ego.
Oh yeah,
to keep themselves in power. CM Punk's like, hey, you fucking cokehead doofus, you're doing this wrong. Like, and I
really believe that at the end of the day, like you, as a boss with a business, you have to say, okay, I'm in business to make money.
Right.
So we have streaming rights, we have this agreement, we have this deal, we have that deal. Are your activities as an employee jeopardizing these work activities? Are you harming the brand? Are you killing morale backstage? Are you creating a hostile work environment? Could somebody sue me because of you and your bullshit behind the scenes? Right. And he's got to take all that into consideration. Which was so funny, like when MJF and Adam Cole had their backstage segment and Tony Khan came out and he was like mad and taking control. It was a big joke because let's face facts.
He don't do that.
Yeah, let's face facts. He wasn't doing that. And so unfortunately, it's going to take like that big lawsuit or some fallout from bullshit like this to make him say, either A, I'm going to take control and do this, or B, I'm going to assign somebody whose job it is to take care of this bullshit.
So here's the thing. CM Punk may have been out of his contract right now. If the rumors are true about when he got into London and no one from AEW was there to pick him up. So if CM Punk, which is very likely, has a clause in his contract that gets him car service to and from each show, if AEW had no one there to get him, that's a breach of his contract. He has an out for his contract at this point.
It's okay.
That was
technically, is it a breach of contract? Yes. In his contract, he may have that I need one green M&M in my bowl of M&Ms in my dressing room at every arena that I go to. It's part of his rider. And he's like, oh,
he deserves it.
No green M&M, breach of contract.
Right.
I'm out. Pay me, pin me. I'm gone.
My thing
I'm
here.
gonna get that in my contract for now on when I go do shows. Like, I need one green M&M backstage, and if there's not, I'm grabbing my fucking envelope and I'm walking out.
I need a green M&M sitting in a pudding cup,
right,
with a gold spoon.
Hey, this is a platinum spoon. Give me my money. I'm out of here.
Burberry spoon. Who do I look like to you, MJF? Get out of here.
So I truly.
That's a blue M&M you dipped in green food coloring. You ain't fooling me.
I truly love AEW.
I do too.
It's proven itself to me that it's better than WWE in a few ways. Mm-hmm. I don't watch WWE regularly anymore. And I watch AEW, and not just because I have a show where I cover AEW.
Yeah.
But I was firmly watching only AEW before covering it on my own show. So the problem is that a lot of and it's funny, somebody just mentioned MJF. a lot of wow. Well, Sasha doesn't hate. Sasha hates MJF. That's for sure. Just mention his name and I think that it started to go downhill a bit. I think that the positivity of AEW within AEW wrestling fans.
I think the morale in the locker room is bad right now, and it's spreading to the fans.
Well, I think.
I agree with that, and I think that it really started. What the fuck do you want? I'm trying to make a point here. Go away.
There goes Drew, turn away pussy once again.
Right. A pussy always gets in the way of the point.
Unfortunately, the pussy keeps coming back.
It's a pussy magnet.
I think the real turning point
is that cat showing its butt right now? Because I really hate when cats do that.
Get the fuck out of here.
Cat's like, my hole's bigger than yours.
My hole.
Forever.
Go bother that guy over there. I think that the real spiral started when MJF did that shoot promo talking about how Tony Khan was just saving money for a bunch of ex-WWE guys. And the crowd was cheering him.
Yes.
The crowd agreed with a lot of MJF shoot work negativity towards the company. And then a few months later, here comes Brawl Out. That tanked it even worse. But I feel like the start of it, maybe not even Cody, because people were so sick of Cody by the time Cody left at that point. I think people were really celebrating it more than being upset about it. And here comes the pussy again.
So Drew, I will agree with everything you said. And MJF being the tell it like it is heel that he is, because I mean, what do heels do? Heels tell the truth, and it may be inconvenient, but they still tell the truth. And so he had said what people on the internet have been saying: "Oh, AEW is only popular because all these ex-WWE guys," and well, shit. It's kind of like you saying, "Well, the only reason why the Cubs are good is because they got a bunch of guys from New York or some guys from Boston. They're all baseball players. Where the fuck else are they going to come from?" You know, like, are they? Well, I can't hire any WWE guys. Let me get some guys from MLW. And someone's like, "Why the fuck would you do that?" You know,
but it wasn't just that though.
But
I just remembered because I was going to say something else.
Go ahead.
The other thing I was going to say is they were not negatively reacting to when MJF was calling, when he was calling Tony a money mark who should be behind the guardrail, not the owner of a wrestling company. No, I'm not. I'm just, what I'm saying is that I think that the underlying thought with a lot of cat is fucking annoying me. I wish my cat was doing what your cat was doing. So
yeah, she's still back there. She's just chilling behind the TV.
Yeah, cat's under the bed. So
it's funny because it's almost like Tony Khan has completely leaned into everything that MJF was saying about him. Like, well, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna celebrate it. I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna take back the N-word, but you're not the N-word.
I'm gonna take back the money mark word.
All the things that
Nielsen, taking back Nielsen. You know?
And so, like, was MJF right, or is Tony Khan living the gimmick? I don't know, but here we are. You know, and so the whole thing with CM Punk is, quite honestly, he's one of those guys where if he's not fucking up, him fucking up is a reason to come see him, because that means that he's got a grievance, and if he has a grievance in a microphone, he's gonna air it, and he's gonna talk into the mic, and he's gonna ooh, pipe bomb 2, pipe bomb 3, pipe bomb 4, and people go, yeah, Punk, yeah.
Well, the genuine like reason why people go towards Punk is because he cuts pipe bombs, because he's real. He says it as it is. But I feel like there's such a pushback to him these days because he's not the reason why all of this starts, but it always is surrounding him.
So he doesn't need to be the reason why it starts, but because he's the vet, he can keep it from going any further.
Right.
So, for example, you're in the middle of a podcast and your cat hops on your table and like is throwing her tail in your face. That is when you grab the cat and throw her across the room. Like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking cat. I mean, he's
Thank God I'm not really angry.
he's having
Definitely haven't done that before, for sure.
He's having these reactions which are media worthy, if you will,
Right?
And it's something that's making he's making clickbait headlines, which is why people like me have a hard time really believing the reality of it, because it's like, dude, you're worth so many millions of bucks. You didn't have to come back. You don't need the money. You don't need the attention. You don't need the fame. But yet here you are, and you're just engaging in controversy because this is kind of you're known for being the bitter dude, like the bitter conspiracy guy, punk rock, do it yourself, DIY. Everyone, the man has got his boot on the back of my throat, and now I've got to fight back. I mean, he's still doing that shit repeatedly, and it's like, okay, well, is this real or is it just you living your gimmick? And okay, well, whatever. But after a while, it gets old.
Right.
Yeah.
I enjoy,
especially because he can't hold a title.
The problem is people know how to push Punk's buttons. People know what will set Punk off and cause him to have these confrontations, and that's what they do.
Yeah, it's so the reason why I asked should he leave AEW is not because I don't like him. I like him. I feel like, a Tony Khan in a way. I like CM Punk. I like the Young Bucks. I like Kenny Omega. But all of those people can't get along with each other.
Right.
And if there's never going to be a point where they can come together in a room and say, all right, we had issues in the past. Let's squash it. Let's let bygones be bygones and make money together. I don't know if all of those people should be in the same company.
Right. It's a double-edged sword for Tony Khan, because Punk makes him money.
Yep.
But it's just, and I don't even think it's Punk that makes it a toxic work environment, but I think Punk being there makes it a toxic work environment because of how other people are reacting towards him.
So that's not a fair statement, because you can't control how people react towards him.
Right.
But you can't control how people react towards him. But as a boss, Tony Khan should be able to get them in a room together and go, listen,
right,
but there are issues here. We got to squash it, or we're gonna have problems. Instead of Punk or the Elite or Jack Perry or Ryan Nemeth or whomever going to the source itself and trying to hash it out, Tony Khan should be the one to go to the people. He should be the one, not even be a mediator, because I think there's a line between mediator and boss. He should say, I don't think he should be the mediator. I think, like you said, they should hire some outside people. An outside person should be the mediator.
Yeah.
But he should be the one to say, you two are going to the mediator and you're going to figure this out.
What's that doctor that helped Kane and Daniel Bryan doing these days? Can we get him in there?
So and this has really been. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Sorry. It's just it's funny you say that about that, Drew. It's like I remember reading about Roman Reigns, and he was talking about CM Punk, and they asked him, "Does he like CM Punk?" And he said, "No, but I am willing to work with him." That he said that I would work with Punk. I don't like him, but I'm willing to work with him.
And that's why fucking Roman Reigns makes the money he makes.
Dude, my point is this. The NXT backlot, where more attacks have happened in the past 10 years than anywhere. If Vince McMahon said, okay, guys, fuck this. No more backlot attacks on NXT, because what we've seen is among teenagers between the ages of 15 and 20, they've been jumping people in parking lots, and they say that we're contributing to this. So we can't do this anymore. No more backlot ass kickings with camera coverage. When NXT comes on, there no longer will be cameras in the back lot watching people get their ass beat. And so with that being said, when you're the boss and you say, shit, get off the pot, jump how high, jump over here, jump over there, it happens because you're the boss. You're writing the checks. You're hiring people. You're telling them what to do. And if you tell Punk, like, hey man, you're going to do X, Y, and Z, you do X, Y, and Z because that is your boss, which is why I have such a hard time 100% believing that this is not a work and that it ever has not been a work, because at the end of the day, we all answer to somebody, and this is wrestling. And yeah, you can get fired and then come back to work the next day with a mask on and still get a paycheck. Like this is professional wrestling, and this is the equivalent at a different. It's a different level. It's backstage politics versus someone getting their ass beat in the parking lot, but it's the same shit, because clearly there's a control mechanism that should be in place that's not in place, that allows wrestlers to be wrestlers. And that's what this is. And so, believe you me, if Punk was really that much of a problem, he would either get his chain yanked or get fired.
But like what we've been saying on this podcast, is Tony Khan capable of that?
Well, here's the thing:
if CM Punk pulled out a gun and shot Jungle Boy backstage,
oh well,
I mean, would he get fired for it?
Oh my
Probably
god!
Not. Probably not.
Probably not.
Tony would be like, "Oh, Punk, did you really have to shoot him?" Punk would be like, "Yeah, I did, Tony. You fucking mark."
Phil,
Tony's like, "Okay, I get it."
Fuck, Phil, what'd you do, Phil?
Well, let's put QT Marshall's fingerprints on the gun, and we'll blame him.
Dax, get over here. Pick up the gun.
Give it to Cash. Don't give it to Cash. Cash ain't allowed around it.
Is he capable of saying, Punk, you gotta stop being an instigator, in a sense, while he wasn't? I don't believe that he is the true source of the issues, because what I said in the chat earlier today was when Punk talked about the Elite last year, he didn't go to the Elite's locker room. The Elite came to him.
Sure.
He was not even the one that started talking about it this time around. Jack Perry's the one that said it live on pay-per-view.
Jack Perry's fault.
And then I don't know if I fully believe that, because according to Perry's side, Punk was the one that pie-faced him and choked him out without any instigation from Perry's side. I doubt that. So I don't believe that in this case either, Punk was the one that really started the whole thing. Words shouldn't lead to people punching people out like it's an 8th grade schoolyard. You know,
Well, unless it's
this
Jack,
is
we probably had it coming. No, but I mean, what Drew, what you're describing is, yo, you stepped on my shoes, bang bang.
yeah.
You know, like what?
It almost really feels like
Really?
that.
Like when you run Arn Anderson off the road, you're gonna get shot.
So I feel like maybe, also like I was saying, I'm not saying should he leave AEW because I don't like him or that he's bad or been the source of all of this stuff. I'm just saying that maybe he should just leave AEW because that's going to make everybody happier
I feel
on
like
all sides.
I feel like, and I said this in the chat. Punk. Obviously, Punk didn't come back because he needs the money.
No.
You know,
Correct.
Punk is set for life. So he didn't come back because he needed the money. He came back because he loves professional wrestling, and he's seen a new opportunity to where he could get back and into the business he loves and get away from the bullshit that he had to deal with in WWE. But he gets here and, you know, it's right away. Oh, the pretty girl, the new pretty girl in school. And all the pretty girls that were already there are like, oh, I don't like this bitch. Oh, you can't sit at my table.
True mean girls.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is. It's the girls that were the pretty girls in school. Now the transfer student who's even prettier comes along and they get jealous and they want to sabotage it. And like I said, honestly, if Punk just loves wrestling, it's not about the money, he just wants to wrestle, fuck it, go to Impact. Impact ain't going to be able to pay you shit, but you know what? He would be able to wrestle without the drama, most likely. Because Impact would be so happy to have him there, and the people in the Impact locker room in a struggling company would be like, yeah, bring him in because I want a better paycheck.
You know what? That is a podcast for another day.
Yeah, that it is.
Like that's a whole conversation.
Right.
Where should CM Punk go?
Not UFC.
I mean, at the end of the day, Tony Khan is
NWA.
the
Jesus
boss.
Christ.
Tony Khan is the boss, and if you want to work here, you have to do X, Y, and Z. And if you don't do this, then you're fired. And CM Punk should, not even Punk, everybody there who was a professional doing their job should be able to operate within a certain sphere of professionalism without someone pissing them off.
But you know what? You know who the people that haven't had problems with Punk is in AEW? Jake Roberts, Arn Anderson, Keith Lee, Andrade, FTR, people that have been to the big company, people that have made money in wrestling or been places where money was made are not the ones having issues with them. The ones that know how shit works are not the ones that haven't been in fucking, gymnasiums and shit their whole career and knows how the business works aren't having problems with Punk.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Christian doesn't have a problem with Punk.
He just has
Darby
has a belt that
Darby, Sting damn sure don't have a problem with Punk.
No.
Well, yeah.
I will say that ideally, Christian and Sting don't necessarily need to work.
Right.
No.
I don't know. I would think that they necessarily don't need to work and they're here for
Sting has Jesus money. He don't need to work.
the business. But there's a lot of people who really need AEW to work out.
Right.
Because they know the alternative has no room for them.
Right.
Just and not even you work there, fuck you. There's no room in the roster at the other choice.
And it seems like the ones that need AEW to succeed the most are the ones that are fucking sabotaging it the most.
Yeah.
If I'm fucking Kenny the Bucks, they're EVPs, which I guarantee means you get a bonus when AEW does good.
Bam.
So why wouldn't you
Not
be
right
like,
there.
okay, this fucking guy draws us money. This guy makes us fucking money. This guy helped AEW turn a profit finally.
Um,
Why the fuck would I want to sabotage that?
I will tell you why. Because up until this point, their shenanigans have not negatively financially impacted the business.
Right.
And when I say that, could they have made more money doing blank? We don't know. But has it cost them money? Like tangibly,
Right.
100,000 fans were like, "Fuck this, we want our money back," or did buys drop off? Did ticket sales drop off? No, that hasn't happened. So they're like, "Oh, we're doing great. What do you mean?" You know, and so until something like that happens, they're not going to get their hands slapped and they're not going to get any kind of reprimand
Well,
because right now the ship is sailing and the ship is a high fucking tide.
well, here's the thing.
Because especially coming off of Wembley, it's high fives and pats on the back all around.
Right.
You know, so there's been no repercussions. There's been no suffering for the bullshit. So it's like, yeah, they're like Stratton Oakmont just doing cocaine lines in the bathroom or on the boardroom table, just having a good old time. The good times are rolling.
Here's the thing: if CM Punk ends up just saying "fuck it, I'm done," like apparently the rumor was he threatened he was ready to quit at All In. And the other rumor is that he hasn't reached out to anyone at AEW since leaving Wembley on yesterday,
including Tony Khan.
Including Tony Khan. If Punk really decides, you know what, I'm done, what does that do to Collision on Saturdays? Collision becomes Rampage 2.0.
Yeah.
Without CM Punk.
I watch Collision because of Punk.
A lot of people do. Punk's segments are the highest rated of the whole show.
So you are absolutely right. And we talked about at length.
Unless they put Jeff Jarrett over there, then it'll hit $1 million every week. It'll hit $1 million each week. Because I will buy 1 million TVs and turn them all on.
We talked about how most of us grew up on WCW Saturday night. And because you were a wrestling fan, 605 was the time to tune in to watch wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
But you weren't really picking up any extra eyes or ears.
Right.
Because they didn't have like movies, like got movies for guys that like movies. Like that shit hadn't started yet.
Or dinner and a movie.
Yeah, or dinner movie and up all night. You know, all that
was
shit.
USA. But, okay.
Oh, my bad. She shows you what I know. But that Saturday night spot is not a prime spot for wrestling. But they've got a niche audience that's built in. Right. People want to see Punk, and the word on the internet is that it's the Punk show, and so people tune in to see a pipe bomb every week, you know, or see CM Punk show up as the Golden Vampire or wherever the fuck, you know, and so that's kind of the treat for what it is. So if he disappears, like, do they try to do something else? Like, do they just go ahead and bury him and be like, oh, like, remember when WWE buried Austin? Hey, Austin took his ball and he went home.
Yep.
And he
could, like they did with Naomi and Sasha.
Yeah, exactly. So
are we going to get Huckster and Nacho Man segments about Punk and Ace Steel?
The Skunk makes a return.
Dude, look, when it comes to being petty, nobody said Vince McMahon wasn't like fucking
the king.
So, you know, could that happen? Could they just fucking bury the shit out of them? Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think they would.
But would
the Elite would
for a ratings pop? Would Punk show up on WWE?
I mean, say yes. Actually,
he was somewhat in bed with them when he was doing the Fox Sports thing, and I think they were kind of getting close to a Punk return to WWE.
Yeah,
and I think AEW coming along changed all that.
Yep.
I think a lot of things, you know, behind the scenes, WWE changed that as well. Which I think Vince didn't want Punk back. Well, Vince will do business with anyone. I mean. Correct. Look at Ultimate Warrior. He fucking dogged Vince.
Brought him back.
And he came back multiple times. Hogan, everyone. Oh, yeah, look at Jarrett.
Bret Hart.
Jarrett walked out on him twice and held him up for money, and he came back.
Held him up. Well, according to Jared, he didn't hold him up. He just
Superstar Billy Graham, who was fucking Vince is the devil. Yeah, Vince is the fucking devil and the reason that kids die in the streets, and he got brought back. So I mean,
and Punk a month or two ago, Punk was backstage at a Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually read
about I'm not saying that means he's going to go to WWE.
No, he got told to leave.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it like this: he'll bring back Punk before he brings back Nails.
Yeah,
Nails is never coming
back.
Which,
which is just leaving money on the table, but that's a different episode of the Round Table.
But
leaving money on the table.
I could see CM Punk coming back because, like what Drew said, he was at a WWE event, and for what it sounded like, it went well, except for Vince.
Because you got to remember when Punk comes back to your promotion, part of the whole mystique is how hard is he going to shit on the promotion that he just came from?
Pretty much. you know, like I said, hey, you know what? If Punk showed up on Impact, legit, Impact would do numbers.
Oh God, yeah.
All 500 houses that get the channel Impact's on would be turned into it.
Look, dude, Impact is a great show.
It is.
They just got the worst network and time slot.
But you know what? If
it's a good show.
If they brought Punk in, they could probably get a better network.
Oh God, yeah. Because
they could use Punk's name to get a network.
But where would they go? That's the thing.
Dude, if they couldn't use Heath Slater, I don't know.
Okay, I'm done now. I'm done at this point.
Slater a main event.
They've got the one-man rock band. I think they need the other two to show up.
Oh Jesus! Well, they had them all at one point except for Jinder.
3MB is money, man.
Oh yeah,
money on the table.
Money on the table.
So after all this talk,
3 Money Brothers.
The final question is, and I will let everybody answer it. Maybe some people were swayed. Maybe some people are still steadfast in their opinions. Should CM Punk leave AEW? Thinner.
Did you say could or should?
Should. For his own mental health, yes, he should. Go somewhere where you can have fun again.
Julian?
I don't think he'll have fun anywhere he goes. I think he would walk into Disneyland and be like, "This is the worst place I've ever been."
Why the fuck is that mouse wearing that outfit? That don't even look like it looked in the cartoon.
I mean, he's not lying about Disneyland.
should he leave AEW? No, I don't think so.
I went on Space Mountain and didn't see Ric Flair anywhere.
Woo!
Worst fucking park ever.
So now why? Why do you think he shouldn't?
So the reason why he shouldn't is because it's really a maturity issue. Like if you're going to let these kids piss you off over fucking bullshit. But Tony, he said that on screen. This is really a management issue. And Tony Khan, as the boss, needs to take control of this shit and really put a lid on it. And he needs to make the Bucks stop with him. The Bucks stop with him. And he's got to just take control of the situation and run it like a business. And be like, hey, you guys, shut the fuck up. Here's the 10 things you're supposed to do this week. Fucking check every box. Do it, get her done, or you don't get your fucking paycheck. And that's it. And that's it. Bottom line. So should he leave? No. Because quite honestly, if Punk were to leave AEW and go to WWE, I have a feeling the fans would really turn on him. And I don't think it would be like it would be X-Pac go away heat. So he would have to go to Impact or MLW maybe or NWA. He you know what? NWA might be the perfect place for him to go. That would actually help the NWA business. I'm not going to sit here and shit on EC3 for being NWA champion, but
A lot better than Tyrus, that's for sure.
But, yeah. So anyway, he's got. Let's put it like this: after the bridges that he's burned, he would have two options left, and that would be NWA and MLW. Does he need to work? Fuck no. Especially after the payday that he pulled at AEW. Fuck no.
Even
The
before
money he got
that,
left over from WWE. Fuck man, the money he's getting from video games.
Marvel, he's got Marvel money from
Yeah,
comics.
Does the dude need to work? He does not. Did Ric Flair need to have a last match? Fuck no. Well, financially maybe, but did he need
Right.
to? Fuck
Ric
no.
Flair's had 392 divorces. He has gone from giving away half his shit to half his shit to half his
Yeah.
shit.
So Punk has a wife, hasn't been divorced. He's got his money. He got his money from before. He got his money now.
He ain't got no
how
kids.
many of us could take off 7 fucking years from work and then show back up at the same job in the same industry and motherfuckers are happy to see you? Just come on, get the fuck out of here. And so does he need to work? No. Does he have to work? No. Does he feel like he has a wisdom to impart on the business? Maybe. That's very ego driven if you ask me. That's like Hogan saying that he needs to give TED Talks to all the wrestlers to help these jabronis understand what it means to sell and to put asses in seats.
Be a good seminar.
Okay, but you know.
Listen here, brother. When you have sex with your best friend's wife, make sure there's no cameras in the room, brother. And if there is, don't say racial slurs.
I'm your ethics professor, brother.
Say those at home where they belong.
That you shouldn't be saying the N-word, dude, especially on camera, brother.
Only say it at home, brother, when no one's around to tell on you.
In 2022, I went to the United Kingdom and I partied with the Queen.
That is, we're not getting started. No, you are not sidetracking us with that shit.
Look, brother, I was at All In.
No,
and backstage, the Queen Elizabeth, brother, she came up to me and she was like, I was given my name because of Miss Elizabeth, brother, because my father was such a big Hulkamaniac back in the day. And when you feuded with Macho Man, he was like, that Miss Elizabeth chick is a class act, brother. So I named her Queen Elizabeth. And then I went out at All In and I body slammed the 1,010-pound Andre the Giant, brother.
Fire breathing, nasty, sweaty giant.
And he died 42 minutes later, brother. And then I flew to Japan, which means that I wrestled 2 days in 1 day, brother. And when I was in Japan, Metallica came up to me and was like, brother, play this bass for us. And then off the top of my head, I created the chords for Enter Sandman, brother. And then the Sandman came up to me smoking a cigarette, brother. And I was like, you should drink a beer while you're doing that, brother.
I'm the one that created Sandman.
And ECW was born that night.
So Julian's a no, he shouldn't leave AEW.
So the answer is no. No.
Hulk Hogan should.
No, Punk should not leave AEW. He's fine where he is. He needs to just work that shit out. And Tony Khan needs to be a better boss. Josh, your turn.
Double J, Josh James. Go ahead.
Okay. I like both of their answers with Sinner and Julia, but I think
but who do you like more?
I think Punk should stay on AEW. Like, here's the thing. Does he need to stay? No, he doesn't need to. He can literally go to Tony Khan's office and say, you know what, I'm done. Because, like you said, he's set for life. But I think part of it is he wants to prove the Bucks, like I have something to prove.
He's a better person?
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you gave your girlfriend herpes and you're like, well, why would you leave? You already got herpes. You might as well stay.
You might as well stay at this
spread it
point.
to somebody else.
We're both on the same medication, so we can share.
Heard from somebody I know.
And I think with CM Punk's mental health, yeah, I completely agree with Sinner, but I think Punk should stay because he's also been a good help for AEW, also, in my opinion. But
choking on Jungle Boy, you goddamn Skippy.
Yeah, but also
he needs to wake up every day and be like, "What's the first item? Siri, what's the first item on the agenda? You need to go choke out Jungle Boy. Done and done."
But does Punk have an attitude? Oh yeah, he does have an attitude.
But he's earned it. He's earned it.
I was just about to say that he's earned that attitude. I mean, but
you don't agree, Julian? You don't think he has an attitude?
Oh no, he has an attitude.
Okay, I thought that's
does anyone deserve an attitude? I mean, you're in a professional environment. Like,
what?
You either do or you don't. Like Hogan doesn't get to walk in a wrestling in the locker room and just pull his dick out and piss on people.
Yes, he does. Haven't you heard the story? Brother, when I was at Wembley at All In, brother, I walked backstage and I saw little Jack Perry laying on the floor from when Punk choked him out, brother. And someone was like, Hogan, the only way to revive him, brother, is to pull out your 10-foot penis and pee on him, brother. So I told Brother Brutai, come over and unzip these pants, brother. And get that Hawker Johnson out. Because it's got to save a life, brother. And then the Queen Elizabeth came over, brother. And she was like, thank you so much, Hulk Hogan. And then I wrote a song about it, brother. And that song was God Save the Queen. And it became the national anthem for
somebody mute him, please.
Hey, brother.
No, this is gold.
Oh, my God.
Dude, after that interview I listened to where Hogan was like, the kid died during the match, and I wrote
that.
So died during the match at the show I wasn't even at.
And someone was like, but you were never at Wembley.
Did you hear his song? Brother. Did you hear that song that he wrote about that kid?
Yeah, Little Hulkamania, last Little Hulkamania in heaven or whatever.
Yeah.
So Josh, you're
I just gotta. There's one thing. There's one thing I agree with Julian on.
Is there pasta in Hulkamania heaven?
No.
Tony Khan should be a better boss.
I agree with Julian on the fact that CM Punk should give the Young Bucks herpes. I think that's what you're going with that, right?
Kenny Omega.
Dude, it's like perpetual super kicks. But right in the dick.
But I think Tony Khan he needs to be a better boss instead of trying to be everybody's friend. You can still be friends with them, but when it comes to being the boss, you need to show them that you're
goddamn business.
Tony Khan gives Punk herpes, and he's like, "You got to stay now. You might as well stay now. We both have it."
Okay, so
he's like, Abdullah, go bleed on Punk right quick.
Oh, no.
God.
Allegedly.
Those opinions are not the Roundtable's opinions. They are solely the opinions of Sunday Sinner.
Go bleed on Punk, allegedly.
Abdullah the Butcher gave CM Punk herpes, and I was there, and I revived him. I saved Punk. I made sure that I took him to the doctors, and I put my hands on his head, and I healed him with my Hulk Hogan powers, brother.
Took his Hulk Hogan vitamins and it healed him.
He took his vitamins and he was saying his prayers, and I healed him, brother.
He would have got
I will
AIDS.
never participate in this, Julian.
He would have got
I'm
AIDS.
just going to sit here.
He would have got AIDS, brother, but he was wearing his Hulk Hogan fist helmet, and that protected him.
He said his thoughts and prayers, brother.
Said his thoughts and prayers, brother, and took his vitamins.
So, my opinion.
Yes.
Close this out. And,
we haven't got those yet.
Yeah, we haven't yet. No. Should CM Punk leave AEW? I am going to give you a two-parter here.
Oh, geez.
Part one.
It's just going to be a long story.
You're fucking saying that? You know what? I'm going another 45 minutes of talking, okay, just because of that.
That don't work for me, brother. I'll give you 5.
I was on the Roundtable podcast, brother. I helped Drew wrote his speech, and I helped him out, brother.
I was holding the cue cards for him, brother. Go ahead, Drew. Go ahead, Drew.
Sorry, brother.
If he is able to come back and calm the fuck down, but also get in the room with the detractors and the haters, with Tony, and go, all right, I think it's about time we fucking stop this shit. Let's shake hands. We don't have to like each other. We can just make money. We don't even have to work together. We don't have to do a feud together. We don't have to do CMFTR versus the Elite.
Even though everybody wants that.
It doesn't have to happen. Let's just be amicable and let's squash this now. I say, no, he should not leave. But I'm waiting to see what happens as a result of this current situation, this next situation that developed. Because if he comes back and everyone refuses to be in a room with him and talk it out and hash it out and squash it, I don't think there's a point in him being there anymore.
You are the fucking boss, okay?
Yeah.
And the boss says, hash this shit out. Fuck you, I'm not going to, you're fired. End of story.
I would hope that Tony took that stance.
Yeah.
And that's what he's got to do. He has got to be the boss. He has got to be not your buddy, not one of the boys, not, hey guys, let's all get along. He has got to be the decisive decision maker that says, do as I say, like abide by your contract. Like, what, does someone have creative control over themselves? You can have creative control over a character, but you can't have creative control over you as a person being an asshole at your job. So do as I say, do what you're told, get the fucking job done. That's it.
And he doesn't even, like we talked about before, he doesn't even have to be the mediator, but he needs to order them to go and see the mediator.
You are correct. And again, that's what the big joke about human resources and professional wrestling is. Like, he needs a legit professional or human resources department that's like, hey man, you guys are creating a toxic work environment. Cut that shit out, or you gotta go.
Right.
And they can be talking to the Bucks. They can be talking to Punk. Like, if you feel that there's people at your job who are creating a toxic work environment for you, you need to have a department that you can go to and file that grievance with in order to address that issue, and in order for it to come up in mediation or some sort of formal setting. You can't just be like, Tony, they were talking shit about me, man. I'm pissed off. There's all of us who have jobs, there's a way of doing this. And if this is legit, that's the avenue that you pursue.
Right.
And people will either get reprimanded, they'll get fired, they'll be given an action plan. There's several ways to go about this, but you just don't be like, fuck what that motherfucker said. I'm gonna talk shit about him anyway and just make this place even more toxic. That's not how it works. That's not how a real company works. And AEW is a real company.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and personally, I really don't want him to leave because he makes AEW better.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But to Sinner's point, if his mental health is going to get affected by this so severely that he's going to go off on anybody that says anything negative about him, I don't know. Maybe it is better than for him to leave and go to a different company or just not work anymore.
You got to think, if his work environment is affecting his mental health in such a bad way, that's a human resources claim that he's going to have to file, and that is something that he could sue for a toxic work environment. And that's what I mean. Like, how many people are going to be coming forward saying, "Oh yeah, the environment here is really toxic. It's a toxic work environment. I want to sue and get paid out the rest of my contract, and I want to go home." And so, we hear about how wrestlers did with WCW and wrote out their contracts, and they sued, and they did this and they did that. Hey, if you can get a $3.2 million payday and not have to take bumps or bruises, why not?
Yeah.
True.
Especially if your employer has created the opportunity for you to do so.
Right.
So we're mostly Punk should not leave AEW.
No, there's no reason for him to. I don't think.
All right. And that's been the first Roundtable episode. Should Punk leave AEW? We're a no, mostly a collective no. And
Except for me.
that was really fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you do.
I had
Yeah.
fun, brother.
All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the Roundtable Professional Wrestling Podcast. For our Monday Night Mayhem, our review, and Drew, what would you call this segment?
I guess it's just the Roundtable, right? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, just the round
Drew's
table.
Words of Wisdom. No,
The Roundtable's the Roundtable.
because we are a roundtable. Yes, we are.
Roundtable.
All right.
And most of us are round.
But I'm bummed. We will see you guys on Wednesday for trivia. And
Do we have a subject for this week's trivia?
just general
General trivia.
I'm
I'm so mad I missed last week's trivia because of my
son of a
I
bitch.
would have won. I would have won.
You
I was
probably
watching
did.
it and I'm like, I know these answers.
You're like, I know these answers. I could have won this
As a matter of fact, I was keeping score in my head and I technically won.
in your head. Okay.
I'm gonna bring the trivia title out and spray paint an X across it. I'm the real trivia champion.
Buy one of the toy AEW titles from
Right.
Walmart
Yeah.
and just
The real trivia champion, damn it.
We will see you guys on Wednesday.